All right, so I included the infographic in my writing because I wanted it to serve as kind of like a reference for whenever we needed something quick and we need to move efficiently with these type of reports, these harassment reports or bullying reports from students. So I included that because it's something quick to refer to versus trying to read everything. Um, and the policy that I created in my paper exists because currently I felt like there wasn't one at the campus in the district that I'm in. It wasn't set in stone. It wasn't concrete. It had a lot of loopholes, a lot of room for assumptions and interpretations, and there was nothing that was clear and defined. So I took it upon myself to kind of try to tweak what we had and make it more clear and more defined so there's no room for confusion or misinterpretation. So everyone is on the same page and it's been approved, and it's right there in writing. And so the if we to receive, just me explaining the infographic, if we were to receive any reports, our first step would be to we receive the report. My initial step as an administrator would be to inform our SRO or our school resource officer. I would kind of explain to them what has happened, what are the situations, who the students are, and then let them decide if they need to confiscate, the phone to gather evidence, or if they just need to interview the children, and I would kind of gauge it off of that. Now, however, I'm pretty sure, just in my expertise as a teacher, that they would confiscate the phone, especially if it's something severe as a student harassing another student in the Jackson versus McCurry case. Harassing another student on campus grounds, so I'm pretty sure that they would collect the phone. They would investigate. They would bring everything back to me. Simultaneously, I would be interviewing all of the students that are involved in that case, the student that is doing the bullying, and then the student that is being bullied. And then if there are some students that have been identified in those interviews, I may call them in. Well, not may, but I will call them in and investigate with them and gather my own data. After that, I would have to determine on the infographic, it kind of says the definition of harassment. So I would get with our SRO, get with our administration team, and determine, okay, with all of this data gathered, do we think that all of this fits the definition of harassment? And if it does, we would move forward with consequences, informing parents and things like that of what has happened. If it's not, we would still move forward with informing parents, and just kind of letting them know, okay, like our policy states this, and I would refer back to that chart that's in the paper, talking about the different consequences that can happen if you have your phone on campus, if it is determined that you are harassing somebody, if it's your first offense, your second offense, so things like that, to have a definite understanding of where the case is going to go, whether it is classified as harassment or it's not. And so I would just follow the infographic like that. Of course, notifying parents is important. Being transparent with them is important. Staying on top of the policy is important. We want to ensure that we're on top of that as administrators, as a staff. So everybody is equal. It's efficient. It works. We want parents to be on board with it. And so I think all of those things will cultivate an environment of efficiency, of equity, of a community, because we're all on the same page. And I think if everybody's on the same page, then we can all be held accountable for the same exact thing. But it does take a lot of effort from teachers not to let anything slide, no matter the circumstance. From administrators not to let anything slide. We have to follow those guidelines in order to make this an effective policy. Because we don't want it to get, there was another case that I researched. We don't want it to get to the case Nicole versus Philadelphia, the Philadelphia school district system. When I researched that case, it was best to talk about how this same situation, a student was being harassed and being bullied so much that the student encountered some very violent things happen to them. And so, of course, on my campus and any campus, we don't want something like harassment or bullying to get to that point when it can be stopped with us being firm on the policy. So I think all of those things will guide us into cultivating, positive, ethical, moral behavior in our staff and our students and our families, and us just being on top of it and really holding everybody accountable. So, yes.